If you're using Creative Fabrica for your print-on-demand business on Etsy or any other platform, you need to stop and watch this video before you continue. People are getting hit with copyright claims, takedowns, and even lawsuits. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to protect yourself. We'll go over exactly how Creative Fabrica works, how to transform digital products into your own works of art, and how to check for copyright and trademark issues before you sell. Creative Fabrica is a wonderful, useful marketplace full of thousands of talented designers who upload their work for you to use. However, it is still your responsibility to make sure that what you sell is legally compliant. Even if a product has full print-on-demand license, you should never just upload as is. And I have been saying this from the beginning. You should always take the time to modify it and check for any copyrights or trademarks on that design. Creative Fabrica has thousands of designers who upload their work, and Creative Fabrica provides licensing for you to use these assets. Let's go over a couple of licenses. There's the full print-on-demand license, which allows you to use a product as is, which means you just download that asset and you can use it exactly how it is. And then there's the basic print-on-demand license, and this is the one where you can't use it as is and you have to make modifications. But, and this is a huge but, full POD or full print on demand isn't necessarily safe. And that's why you need to check before selling. So you're probably thinking, well, then what's the point in paying for the membership if it's not necessarily safe, right? Like, isn't that the whole point of the membership, to make sure that you are getting the license that you paid for? Yes, but here's the issue. Creative Fabrica has thousands of designers on the platform. Like any other platform, like Amazon is not just a store that's Amazon. It has hundreds of thousands of little stores or private sellers like you and me that are selling their items on the platform. Same with Walmart. If you've ever shopped online at Walmart, you'll notice that Walmart has some things, and then there's a bunch of other different companies and individual people like you and me who are actually able to sell on Walmart. The issue is that when you are a designer for Creative Fabrica, much like myself, you are required to follow certain rules, and you sign saying that you will follow those certain rules. And in fact, after every single upload, before it even gets added to your marketplace as a seller, you click a little button, I'll show it here, that states that it's your design and that you are the one saying it's okay and good to use. So ultimately, it's the independent designer, for one, who decides to just upload something that's completely copyrighted, like a Disney item or something like that. And Creative Fabrica has a robust team that can help with these types of things, and they check for copyright infringement and anything like that. And they actually take it very seriously. In fact, I myself have had designs stolen from another designer on Creative Fabrica, and when I wrote to them, they took it down and they took care of it. But they can't possibly catch every single one, because it's just not possible. In fact, Creative Fabrica isn't alone in this. You can go to Amazon and you can find plenty of different Disney type copyrighted items that are definitely not being sold by Disney. It's just the way that it is, unfortunately. And in this world of digital selling, it is easier to do the wrong thing than it is to do the right thing. But that doesn't mean that it's okay to do the wrong thing. And it doesn't mean that it's okay for you to not do your work and make sure that what you're posting is okay and legal. Inevitably, if you are selling online, you have a business. So as a business owner, it is your job to make sure that what you are selling is safe. If you are purchasing even a print-on-demand, fully done-for-you item, okay, from a website like Creative Fabrica or Etsy or anywhere else, and then you just grab that item, put it on a shirt, or grab that item and resell it, that's just, well, for lack of a better term, stupid, okay? And the reason for that isn't even because of legalities, it's because why do you want to do something that anybody else can do? Why would you want to do that? The whole point to selling online is that you want to stand out above the crowd. So if you can get it online on Creative Fabrica, right? Then anybody else can do that exact same thing, put it on a shirt and put it on Etsy. You want to stand out. So no matter what, legal things aside, you should always be adding something to the design or making it your own so that you stand out. Why would we want to go to Etsy and see the exact same thing on every single page? That's boring. Nobody wants that. I'm going to show you how to take a digital product and make it your own. You can go easy or you can go in depth, but let me show you real quick. All right, so I pulled this image here from Creative Fabrica and we have pulled it into Canva. So right off the bat, it's obviously a very cute design. There's a lot of different things we could do with this, but what I'm going to do is a He Is Risen style design. So I'm going to shrink this down. We're going to add a text box and I'm going to type He Is Risen. So we're going to do He Is Risen. Okay, now let's go ahead and find a font that we like. And a lot of the changes you make, guys, can just be really simple. It's just a matter of making something new. Sometimes just adding text will be enough. This really depends on the design. It's not always enough, but it can be. I really like this text here. So let's use this one, enlarge that a bit. And I think I like it best underneath. Now I could leave that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to add some more to this. We can see that there's some gold in here and I want to add more gold around this design. So I'm going to go to Elements and I'm just going to search for gold and Easter and see if anything pops up that looks inspiring or something that I'm going to want to add. All right, so I'm seeing this right here and I do love this. So let's see what this looks like. If I were to grab this and then let's put that behind, we can right click and we can move that to the back. All right, so I like that so far. I'm just going to tilt it a bit and put it kind of in a location that I like better. Okay, so there is our design. This was a very simple adjustment, but we could also choose to shrink this down in the center, add some different elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, create a whole entire grid, pull this down, maybe make it a little bit larger and have a whole entire grid using just one element in the center, adding onto it some elements from Canva or maybe from another bundle. See, so it's really just not that hard. Sure, it takes some extra steps, but you're running a business here. Take the time. Oh, here you go. See, Charles, say hi. See, I'm a big giant kitty. Now, what about copyright and trademark and checking that out? If you're using any type of AI anyways, you should be used to doing this. So I think this will be a very good tip for you. But this is important to do for pretty much anything that you're selling anyway. And any assets that you are getting. You have to do the work, guys. So let me show you what I do to make sure that I am keeping it safe. Step 1 is reverse image search. You'll be able to see if it's on the internet anywhere else. Now, like myself, there are a lot of designers who have various shops on different platforms. For instance, I have one on Creative Fabrica, on Etsy, on design bundles, on So Fancy. So if someone reverse image searched my designs, they would be able to find them, but they would find them within my same business name. Now let's go to reverse image search so I can show you exactly how to use this feature. All right, so I have found a design I really like, and now I want to just double check because it looks really cute, but it looks like it's probably a pretty trendy design. So I just want to make sure. You can either take a screenshot and then upload and look that way. You can also click on print screen on your keyboard if you are using a Windows computer, and then you would be able to take a screenshot on your computer or your laptop. Once you have the image, however, then you're going to go over to Google, and right next to the microphone, there is a little camera. So you're going to search by image. We're going to click there and we're going to upload that file that we just downloaded. All right, so what Google's going to do is it's going to pull up anything that looks remotely close to this and the exact images. Okay, so we're just going to take a quick look at our bunny rabbit. We have a little cricket ear type situation over here. We have a blue bow on the right hand side, and we have a full color heart-shaped tail. So now we can look and see what we have. These are obviously similar, but they are not the same. That looks like we are pretty good to go. So I'd say as far as copyright reasons, we would be good to go for this specific design. Now we need to check for trademarks. And the reason for that is just because an image is safe to use doesn't mean that the phrases or text that's in the image or asset that you purchased is safe to use. So we have to check that, and that's done under a trademark search. Let me show you how we do that. So here we are on uspto.gov. This is where you need to go when you are wanting to search for trademarks. You'll click on Trademark, and it'll take you to the main trademark page. You could also just type in uspto.gov/trademarks, and it'll take you here. But honestly, I would just make a bookmark for this because you're going to be using it all the time. Click on Trademark Search, and then you will simply just type in your word or phrase into the box right here. So let's just do a simple one, and we will do hello sunshine. That's just randomly popped in my head. You'll see that we can see things like dead, canceled, live, registered. Over here on the left-hand side, we want to toggle off because we don't care what ones are dead. We only want to know which ones are live, registered, pending, those ones. So we're looking for the words hello sunshine, and we can see that we have hello sunshine here, hello sunshine music, hello sunshine. You would need to open it up and read about the specific trademark. You can click on mark information and then description of the mark. The mark consists of yellow hello sunshine, so it's specific to the way this looks here. We wouldn't need to worry about this trademark. Hello Sunshine Music is totally different. And then we have Hello Sunshine just as it is. We go to Mark Information, consists of standard characters without claim to any particular font style, size, or color. So that means just the words Hello Sunshine are not allowed to be used. Now for me, this would mean that I'm never going to use the term Hello Sunshine. A lot of people will go a bit further and they will say, well, this is for downloadable television programs and videos and stuff. So that has nothing to do with me. Now, if you are a print-on-demand seller or a physical product seller, something like that, then that could possibly be the case for you. If you are a digital seller, digital products can be used for so many different things that I like to play it safe. And I like to protect my customers' interest as well. So if somebody is purchasing something that is a digital product that says Hello Sunshine in any which way, I want that customer to know that they can use it however they want. And this is where a lot of things get tricky for people. They will say, well, I'm just making a PNG. It says nothing about a digital download. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on Creative Fabrica or Etsy or whatever. And whoever buys it, well, that's their responsibility to figure it out. And while that's true, to me, that's poor business practices, so I don't do that. Now, something to consider, there are a lot of common terms that we don't realize are copyrighted. So if it's something that you think you came up with, check it. You probably didn't, but you might have. Also, if you think that it's just a word, let me just show you a few common words and phrases that are trademarked that you cannot use. So not only can you not create designs with these, you also cannot use these words or terms in your titles, in your descriptions, or your tags. They can be seen and you can get in trouble. Now, how do we get around this issue? For instance, let's use the term, I love you to the moon and back. Okay, very popular phrase that many families say. Now, though there are 1,000 designs out there that you can find on Amazon, Etsy, probably Creative Fabrica, I'm not sure, and all over the place that have this phrase, it is illegal for them to sell it. It is illegal. Just because they're doing it and haven't been caught doesn't mean that it is safe for you to do it. Just be smart. If it's a trademarked phrase or a copyrighted image, we don't touch it. So let's take that phrase again, I love you to the moon and back. Just change it. Think of a different way that you can use that term or use something exciting. For instance, something that my family and I say is, I love you as big as the sky. not a trademark term. So if I wanted to, I could create something with that on it. So you have to just think outside the box. There are plenty of other phrases and words to use that will sell and be perfect for what you're designing for. All right, so we've gone over the bulk of what I really wanted to go over with you today. And if you see a fluffy tail right now, that's Charles. And we're just gonna go with it, that's life. My friends, selling digital products is an amazing way to create financial freedom, to put a little extra money in your pocket, or to just have fun and do something online that is fulfilling and a joy. But you have to do it the right way. You have to take it serious, and you have to be responsible and do your side of the work. I hope you guys found this video insightful and helpful. I hope it clears up any misconceptions that you guys have had as far as not only having something that you purchase from Creative Fabrica, but from any online digital asset platform. That could be Etsy, So Fontsy, Design Bundles, all of them. I really hope this has helped you so that you guys can protect yourselves, but still enjoy designing and what we enjoy and love to do here, which is sell digital products online and make an income. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so that it gets out to everybody who needs this information on copyright, trademark, or who's just maybe a little confused on Creative Fabrica right now. This video in particular is really important to me, so if you wouldn't mind, if you could share this in a community that you are in for digital selling, or with a friend who does something similar to you in any way, that would be great, because it's really important to me that people understand not only the risks, but the responsibility it takes to be a digital designer or be a digital seller. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure to do so. Now, go out there, go design a life you love, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.